Well, hi guys, welcome back to Linda's Pantry, and today we are canning applesauce out of this book, one of my favorite canning books. It's on page 182. Now, you can do it with sugar or without, but you cannot omit the lemon juice. I've got these beautiful, crisp, tart, but yet sweet, juicy, Cosmic Crisp apples. I got them on sale, and I want to do a batch of applesauce because, as you saw in my plan to can, I have holes in the pantry that I need to fill up. And that's fruits and vegetables. I'm pretty good on the proteins, but definitely want some good sweet treats, but not, full of sugar or high fructose corn syrup. Whenever I buy applesauce, I always buy unsweetened. So that's what we're going to do today. The lemon juice is to preserve the apples in the canning process and keep the color. So you want a nice, beautiful color. I'm going to peel, core, and then cook these down. Actually, I'm probably just going to, I'm going to peel them and core them. You don't have to peel them. So if I get tired of peeling them, I'll probably just core them. And I've already washed them. They can go right in the pot and cook down and then run through the food mill, which will take care of the skin. And it'll give if you cook it down with the skin, it'll give it a slight pink hue, which would be really pretty. If you take all the skin off and don't have that in the cooking process at all, it'll be a very light, like a light yellow chiffon color, if you will. So it depends on what you want in your jar. I don't mind having some of the red pigment in there. I think there's lots of vitamins in these peels, so I'll probably end up only peeling a few if I peel any. Now I'm talking myself out of it. Okay, so it really and truly, you're going to start with 12 pounds of apples. I'm not sure if that's what I have, but I can weigh that. If I don't, I'll head back down to the store and grab some. It's going to make 8 pints. If you put the sugar in, and it calls for 3 cups of sugar. That's a lot of sugar I don't want to eat. So if you do take the sugar out, you're going to reduce how many jars you get. Does that make sense? Because that's a liquid volume when it heats up. So maybe buy a few extra apples and you'll be good to go to get a full canner load, because I really like 8 or 9 jars on the shelf. Okay, because we can go through a jar in, one day in having it as a backup snack for lunch, or having it with dinner with some pork chops or a pork loin. Okay, here we go. Now, to excuse my voice, catch another creepy crud. All right, let's do this. All right, we are ready. I've weighed out my apples. I have 12 pounds of apples, so we can stick with the recipe. I am cutting and coring the apples, taking the cores out, and you really don't have to do much more than that. I'm not peeling them. I'm going to let the food mill do that. I talked myself into it. So I've got a garbage bowl that will do the trick for the cores. And you do want to get those cores out of there. They don't do well. And then as I get these quartered up, so mine obviously is going to have a pink hue to it. I've got Fruit Fresh here. And these apples, okay, open. Jeez. They don't require a lot of Fruit Fresh, only because they're, I don't know why, they don't oxidize the same as other apples. So that's what I'm going to be doing for the next, 20 minutes or so, is getting these apples all ready for the stock pot. And you're really just going to cover these with just enough water, it says, so they don't stick. And once they're soft, well, there you go. And these will be good. I'm going to give these a big bag of this. I'll bag this up and give it to the neighbors' chickens, or give it to the neighbors for them to give it to their chickens. And Anyway, I might have to open a window. It's warm in here, or I'm going to have to change my shirt. These apples are definitely my favorites. They're so crisp and juicy and sweet. They really are. No sugar is necessary with these. My girlfriend was telling me they're one of the higher calorie apples because of the sugar content. Okay, let's get these all done up here. And got it going on. Okay, I'm going to continue on, and hopefully this is a big enough pot. If not, I've got more pots. So, yep, I think I'm going to go change my top, and I'll be back. Change a wardrobe. So, just wanted to come back on while I'm doing these apples and let you know you want to go follow the safety guidelines in your resource, whether it be the National Center for Home Food Preservation, or in my case, this is a tested recipe from the Bald Book of Home Preserving, and then you know it's safe. It's pretty easy. I've done applesauce tons of times. These don't, like I said, these don't need sugar. They're sweet. And if it's too sweet, you can add a Granny Smith apple to tarten it up. Tarten? To make it a little more tart. I don't think tartan's a word. All right. And now I'm so happy about this. Getting these beautiful apples, preserving them in a different way. And you can use applesauce for baked goods. You can use it to replace oil in your baking. You can use it for desserts, for a side dish. I mean, there's a lot of actual uses for applesauce. So let's get some on the shelf. And literally, I feel like right now we are, we're in kind of uncertain times. It's definitely apparent that prices are not going to go down anytime soon. So why wouldn't you make sure that you put as much back, that you know what's in it, it's healthy, everything that's there is what you want to put on the shelf for your family to consume. So a little bit more fruit fresh. And let me just tell you, I had to search for that. A lot of my stuff, well, most of it is still packed. And I have to search for it when I'm looking for stuff. Like the food mill took us about a half hour to find it this morning. So I'm a believer that yeah. Anyway. Okay. But we're getting closer to tearing this kitchen out. And we're going to leave, some place to cook for as long as possible. So I may have to do some crock pot meals and bring you for maybe some basement cooking. Who knows? Before it's all said and done. And it's going to be fine. The end result is going to be beautiful. We are just about done with the upstairs bathroom. Putting the finishing touches on it. I need to do some more painting on the countertop and on the walls. I got to finish painting the walls. But it's so beautiful. Such a unique, one of a kind, actually. Trying to be creative and get the look I want. So, if you guys want to see a tour of that finished bathroom, let me know. I was going to try to do some DIY projects, but they're hard to film, and I'm not sure how many of you would really want to see them. I mean, a lot of you say yes, but then, you know, am I bringing you what you really want, or am I just bringing you a side note of entertainment? Okay. Although my channel has always been about cooking, canning, DIY projects, and gardening. So there you go. Okay, a little more fruit fresh. And like I said, these don't brown terrible anyways. So it looks like I'm going to need 2 pots. And that's okay. I could bring the big 22 quart pot upstairs, but I don't think I want to. I'll leave it. I'll just get another pot. We'll be okay. All right. I'm going to finish coring, and then we'll be just about ready for some serious cook down. Oh, it's going to be good. I'd be here all day if I had to peel all these, right? I'm just glad to have them. So, Cosmic Crisp Applesauce. Do you like your sauce smooth or chunky? Inquiring minds. Okay, now it's time to get this on the stove. I've got to just cover this. It says cover with water. I'm going to put enough water. Once they slump down, it'll be easier. This is a 10 quart pot, and it is full. 12 pounds of apples. I'm going to be using 4 jars lids today, as always. That's my go-to lid of choice. I've got a link down below. You can get 10% off of anything on their website. It's Linda's Pantry, no apostrophe, all one word. And I'm also standing on the anti-fatigue mat that 4 Jars makes, which is the best anti-fatigue mat I've ever used. So let's get this some water in here and get it on the stove. And you can see how beautiful these are. This, they just don't oxidize like another apple. So it should make a really pretty applesauce with a little bit of the red pigment and the nutrients from the skins. I washed these really, really good. We should have some delicious applesauce coming up. Okay, I'll be back when these cook down a little bit. It's going to take 15-20 minutes once it comes up. And then these are going to be steam canned. You could water bath can them, steam can them, either way. And it's the same timing for quarts and pints. So we're going to be doing these in pint jars because that's what makes sense for our family and for sharing. You know what I mean? So, and recipes. If you're going to use, a cup of applesauce, you don't want to open a quart for that. But if you have a large family, definitely do quarts. I highly recommend it. Okay, so it says, put enough water to prevent sticking. Boil over medium-high heat. Reduce the heat to boiling. So I'm probably only going to fill this pot a little bit. For 15 to 20 minutes, when apples are tender, the time will depend on the variety of apple, of course, and the maturity. Remove from the heat and let cool slightly, about 5 minutes. Working in batches, transfer apples through the food mill. Yes. And I love that. I've had a Victorio strainer. I was telling my girlfriend, Sherry, it was so much mess to clean up. Maybe if I had the attachment for the KitchenAid, I wouldn't feel like that, but I'm going to stick with this for now. And then add through the food mill processor, fitting the puree until, metal blade and puree until smooth. Remove apple puree or return apple puree to the saucepan. Add sugar if using. Lemon juice is not an option to take out. So we have bottled lemon juice, which has a constant 5% acidity, and that's what we want. Lemon juice. Maintain the boil, low heat. Okay. Then you're going to give it half an inch. You're going to load your jars a half an inch of headspace. So we're going to bring that back up, stirring frequently to prevent it from sticking. So let's get cooking. Okay, now it's time to mill the apples. And you saw how full this pot was. I had to transfer it to a 12 quart pot, and it was still up the lid. I couldn't put the lid down. That's a lot of apples, but that's okay. So they cook down less than half, and that's okay too. I've let them sit here for a while, and we're going to go ahead and get to milling. So let me bring you in so you can see what's going on in the the real the real part of this. Okay, we're going to put this in the food mill, and then we can get that cooked down to applesauce. I'm so excited about this. And food mills are wonderful. You don't have to have electricity. I've like I said, I've had a couple of different ones over the years, and I just come back to this one. It's so easy. I don't even mind. And then you'll want to get yourself a something spatula or something that you can scrape edges down while you're going. Okay. And really, the only rule is to have the applesauce. I like mine smooth. Some people like it chunky. I like it smooth. So you're going to get this nice smooth consistency. And we're going to continue this process until we get it all the way milled. And I can tell the applesauce is going to have this beautiful pink hue to it from the peels. It's going to be so pretty and delicious. All right, let's just keep milling away. I'll bring you back when I'm all done doing this chore. Okay, in the middle of doing dinner and canning, I got this all milled, and look at this beautiful applesauce. It's got a rosy hue to it. It's absolutely gorgeous, and it is delicious. We already tasted it, and my husband was like, oh, that would make a good pie. And anyway, so I'm going to get this back on the stove. It's still pretty hot, but I'm going to get it on the stove as per the instructions with 4 tablespoons of lemon juice. And this is to keep the color. This is also for food preservation. So don't leave this step out. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we'll see if this actually gives us 8 pints. I'm not sure if it will, but we're going to find out. So we're going to stir this around, and oh, beautiful. Okay, let's get it on the stove. Heat it up a little bit more, and then we're going to jar it up. And it's going to get a 1/2 inch of headspace, and I'll bring you back for that. Okay, so 9 pints are in the steam canner, and there's still some in here. So I think because I use the liquid that I cooked them in, I think that has a little bit to do with it. So we're going to get the rest of this applesauce out of here. It's not quite 10 pints, but more than what the Ball Blue Book. I think it's how juicy your apples are. Everything is a factor involved, but I would say a healthy 9.5 pints of applesauce, and we will eat this like right away. This is so good. So no worries, no harm, no foul. And I still have more apples, so I could actually do another batch. I might do another small, like a half batch. You want to make sure if you're going to cut things down or add to it, you keep in mind that your lemon juice and the acidity has to be exact. So I weighed out my apples. I used the correct amount of lemon juice, and I didn't do sugar, so that isn't a factor. You can omit that, but you can't omit the lemon juice. So here we go. We have this beautiful applesauce. In fact, let me get a spoon and taste it before dinner. Before dinner, even. It's beautiful. Look at that color. It's gorgeous. And how smooth it is. Mm. The flavor is outstanding. You're not going to find anything in the store that tastes like that. So choose your favorite apple, make your applesauce, and I highly recommend canning it. It's a little warm still. I hope this inspires you to get your game on and jump into home canning. Steam bath or steam canning or water bath canning is so easy. This is a great beginner recipe. There's really nothing you can mess up. So I hope you try it. I hope if you've made applesauce in the past, let me know what kind of apples you've used because I might want to mix it up a bit. I have a whole nother colander of apples over there. I don't know that I need a whole nother 9 pints, but who knows? Maybe I'll just can apples. That would be nice too. And then I can use it in apple pie. My husband keeps hinting around about an apple pie or an apple cobbler or an apple. Yeah, we're going to have something apple. All right. Have a great day, guys. I can't wait to see you next time. Okay, guys, I got 9 pints in the canner. I'm so excited. And then this much left, and this jar's still hot. I want to taste it for you. Oh my God. Look at how beautiful that applesauce is. It's just gorgeous. It is. Tastes just like my favorite apple. No sugar needed, no sugar added. If you've canned applesauce before or you've made a homemade applesauce and just used it, what's your favorite apple to use? Because I highly recommend, and I hope this video inspires you of how easy this is to can up your own. So I got 9.5, well, healthy half, 9.5 pints of applesauce. Now, I weighed out the apples. I cored them. I did all the things. It depends on how juicy your apples are, the density of them, all that is a factor. So I wouldn't worry about it. Don't alleviate from the lemon juice that you need to put in there. You can't taste it, but it helps the acidity. It keeps the color of the applesauce. And now we're going to go check our canner and make sure once it gets in the green zone, it's time to start our timing. And it's 20 minutes for my altitude. So I'll bring you back when I'm taking them out of the canner. And I can't wait to have this on my shelf. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I hope you'll give me a thumbs up. And if you're not a subscriber, this is the kind of content I put out every single day. Well, not every single day, but every time you see me on YouTube, you're going to see cooking, canning, gardening, DIY projects. Amazing. All right. Okay, guys, this is done. It went for 20 minutes. And then you turn the burner off and leave it set for 5 minutes. And then I like to actually acclimate the jars a little bit to the inside temperature of the room and kind of tip it up so some steam can come out. But 9 beautiful pints of applesauce. This is more than enough for us for a year. So the rest of the apples, we're going to be making some really good stuff. Believe there's apple pie in the future if you'd like to see apple pie, like mini apple pies, not big full-size pies, because we can't possibly go through that. But we can go through a couple mini pies in a few days, right? And then maybe I could do something else using the rest of the apples. There's always, we've got a resident goat down the street. His name is Daryl, and he likes apples, so I won't mind sharing. But 9 jars of applesauce using 4 jars lids. All the lids have already sealed. I can tell all the buttons are down, and this is a top quality product. So I hope you'll go check out the link below and get yourself some lids, because you can never have too many, right? All right. I can't wait to see you next time. Quite possibly using some of this applesauce for a different kind of recipe, maybe baking. All right. Bye. So guys, I hope if you like this sort of content, you'll come back to the channel, subscribe, and share the video. Give me a thumbs up. And as always, let me know what you'd like to see in the comment section below.